Frisco 911, what is the location of the emergency?
Hi, we're at Kuykendall Stadium. My friend just got stabbed.
Okay, do you know who stabbed him?
We have no clue. He was sitting in our tent, but you need to send an ambulance right now.
They're on the way, okay? Give me a description of the person that stabbed him.
He was wearing a gray Essentials hoodie. He was black. He's standing out on the track right now.
He's standing on the track?
Yeah.
Okay.
His blue sweatpants on.
So I'll get medics. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
What's happening right now? Victim is over here on the north end. They got staff standing to him right now. This is the alleged suspect. Right now. Already? No. We searched them. We got nothing on him.
I don't know what happened.
423. Checkers everything about CPR progress for a little bit.
Racing.
Yeah, that's the wrong thing.
He was sitting under a tent at a high school track meet. Rain delay. Teenagers waiting out the weather. And then, in a matter of seconds, a 17-year-old boy was on the ground with a knife wound straight to his heart, dying in his twin brother's arms. The boy who put that knife in him. He didn't run far. He was right there on the other end of that stadium when police found him. Hands bloodied, tears rolling down his face, and the most damning words on his lips that any officer could ever hear from a suspect. Words that would follow him all the way to a jury box, a conviction, and 35 years behind bars. And now, for the first time, the world gets to see the moment it all went down. The body cam footage is out. And let that sink in, because what's on that tape changes everything about how you've been picturing this story. Before we go any further into this, if you are new here, this is the Dark Passion Crime TV. We cover true crime stories that the mainstream media glosses over. The cases that keep you up at night. Hit subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are the Dark Passion Crime TV on all 3 platforms. Drop a comment below telling me what you think about this case. Now stick with me because here's where it gets real. Now, for anyone just catching up, here's the quick version of what happened before this update. On April 2, 2025, 2 17-year-old boys showed up to a district track and field championship at Kuykendall Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Austin Metcalf was there with his team from Memorial High School, including his twin brother. Karmelo Anthony was competing for Centennial High School. Both were athletes. Both had football futures they were chasing. During a rain delay, Karmelo ended up under the Memorial team's tent, a spot that, in track culture, belongs to that school's athletes. Words were exchanged. Austin told him to leave. Karmelo told him to make him. And then, according to witnesses, when Austin moved toward him, Karmelo pulled a knife from his backpack and stabbed him once in the chest. The blade hit Austin's heart directly. He never had a chance. He died at the scene in his twin brother's arms. Karmelo was taken into custody the same day. He was charged with first-degree murder. The case became a national flashpoint. Fundraisers on both sides, racial tension, threats against the judge, competing narratives about what self-defense actually means. His bond was lowered from $1 million to $250,000, and he walked out of jail on an ankle monitor.
All right. Come on, man. Just follow back behind us. Just stay close, okay?
Karmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say, Karmelo? Do you have anything that you'd like to say to the victim, to the family of the victim? Why were you armed, sweetheart? Karmelo, why were you armed at school? Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
Karmelo, is there anything you want to say to the community that's donated?
His defense maintained throughout that he acted to protect himself after Austin put his hands on him first. The trial moved forward without cameras in the courtroom. After days of testimony, eyewitness accounts, a medical examiner describing a 2-inch wound that pierced one of the ventricles of Austin's heart, surveillance footage, and Karmelo's own statements to police, the jury rejected his self-defense claim. On June 9, 2026, they convicted him of first-degree murder and sentenced him to 35 years in prison.
Defendant Nicole Aaron Rice not guilty of...
Karmelo Anthony's been found guilty on murder. So this just broke, literally less than a minute ago, so sentencing hasn't even happened yet. Outside the courthouse, there is a large police or security force ensuring that nothing...
He has since filed a notice of appeal. Now here's where things have blown wide open again, because the reactions after that verdict, they were not quiet. On the Metcalf side, Austin's father Jeff Metcalf had been a constant visible presence throughout this case. On social media outside the courthouse. When the indictment came down months earlier, he posted in all caps, "Indicted. First-degree murder. Justice for Austin." And after the conviction and sentencing, the family made it clear they felt the system had finally done what it was supposed to do.
When I woke up this morning, it was a very different feeling. When I woke up, I felt like 1,000,000 pounds had been lifted off my shoulders. And I felt Austin. And I'll even say this, I had a little bit of sorrow because I'm human. And that poor boy is fixing to experience a life that I would not wish upon anyone.
They had sat in that courtroom through some of the hardest moments imaginable, including the day Austin's mother had to walk out when the medical examiner started describing her son's wounds in clinical detail. Jeff almost stayed. The prosecutor leaned over and quietly urged him to leave too. He eventually got up. You cannot sit there and listen to someone describe your child's heart being removed from his body on an autopsy table. On Karmelo's side, his family had been under enormous pressure from the moment this story went national. His mother stood at a podium during this entire ordeal and said plainly that her family had done nothing to deserve the threats and harassment that were being aimed at them. His supporters raised over $500,000 toward his defense. His family spokesperson, a Dallas minister, released a public statement calling this case an example of what it means to be black in America, where even self-defense gets put on trial. And the racial dynamics of the jury selection added more fuel. 3 black women were struck from the jury pool by prosecutors, with the defense objecting and the judge ultimately denying that challenge. The final jury had no black members. The public, divided doesn't even begin to describe it. Members of Congress weighed in. Legal analysts went back and forth. And through all of it, nobody had actually seen the full picture, because there were no cameras in that courtroom. Till now. Here's where it gets ugly and real. After the conviction, Judge John Roach made the decision to release the evidence to the public. And let me tell you, what came out of that courthouse changed the conversation immediately. The Bodycam footage. This is what everyone had been waiting for. A Frisco officer is on the north end of the stadium. He spots Karmelo Anthony and moves toward him, immediately telling him not to reach for anything. He coordinates over his radio, calling off other units, clearing a path for medics to reach Austin under the memorial tent. He pats Karmelo down, checks his pockets, checks his hood, and then he pauses. He notes it out loud. There is blood on Karmelo's hands. He asks for his name. Karmelo spells it out. Confirms he attends Centennial High School. Confirms he's in 12th grade. And at one point in the footage, you can hear Karmelo mutter something under his breath. He is crying.
Okay. You want me to get up now? Go. All right. The victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
What's up? Victim is over here on the north end. They got staff standing to him right now. This is the alleged suspect. Already, no. We searched them. Got nothing on him.
I don't know what happened.
423. Trackers have negative CPR progress for a little bit.
Racing.
Yeah, that's the wrong thing.
Racing.
Side over here or which side? It's up to you. It's up to you.
That's fine. This is closer.
Okay. Let me do one more little check of you, okay?
Yes, sir.
You don't mind for reaching your pockets, anything like that? You good?
You can.
You're just wearing this one pair of pants?
No, I'm wearing some little underwear.
Well, yeah, but there's not
Like,
pockets. These are
no, ma'am, I don't think so.
Alright. What's your name, man?
Karmelo Anthony, Karmelo.
430, show me out.
Okay.
Racing.
Check one more time on this side. Have a seat here real quick, man. Watch your head. Let me check your hood here, buddy, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, lean this way so you're not resting on your hands, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
402, I'm on scene.
So your first name is Karmelo?
Yes, sir.
Racing.
Karmelo.
Let's see, hold on one second.
Is he gonna be okay?
I don't know yet, man. Karmelo, C-A-R-A.
K-A-R.
K-A-R.
M-E-L-O.
M-E-L-O, Carmelo. What's your last name?
Anthony.
A-N-T-H.
O-N-Y.
O-N-Y. Where are you in?
I'm in 12th grade.
10th grade? You go to Emerson?
No, sir.
Where do you go? Centennial. Okay.
I'm in 12th grade.
12th grade?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, Centennial. All right, sit tight for me real quick, bud, all right? All right. Let me run this guy real quick.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him at all.
He asks the officer, "Is he going to be okay?" Think about that. He's just been detained. Blood on his hands. And he's asking about the boy he stabbed. But here's the moment that became the center of everything. When the officer refers to him as the alleged suspect, Karmelo corrects him. He does not stay quiet. He does not ask for a lawyer. He looks at that officer and he says it plainly. "I'm not alleged. I did it." He also tells the officer repeatedly. "He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me." Two statements, running in opposite directions. One is a confession. The other is a claim of justification. And the jury heard both and still said, 35 years. But the body cam was just one piece of what the court released. Surveillance footage came out showing Karmelo walking past the track tents before the stabbing, and then running. Not walking. Running from the tent through the stands onto the track. Legal analysts watching that footage used one phrase to describe it. Consciousness of guilt. You don't run like that from something you believe was justified. The knife also finally got seen by the public. And here's the thing. Throughout this case, some of Karmelo's defenders described the weapon as a small multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army knife. Make it make sense because what the court photos actually show is a significantly larger folding blade. A deadly weapon, plain and clear. Not a pocket tool. The prosecutors had said all along the wound that killed Austin, a 2-inch gaping entry point that pierced his heart, was not made by something small and accidental. There were also photographs of a blood-soaked jacket, images of Austin's wounds, and the 9/11 audio. A bystander on the phone trying to describe the scene, while in the background you can hear someone telling Austin to stay with him. An Army veteran on scene applying pressure to the wound. Austin going unconscious. And the 911 operator asking, "Is he breathing?" The answer was no.
Frisco 911, what is the location of the emergency?
Hi, we're at Kuykendall Stadium. My friend just got stabbed.
Okay, do you know who stabbed him?
We have no clue. He was sitting in our tent, but you need to send an ambulance right now.
They're on the way, okay? Give me a description of the person that stabbed him.
He was wearing a gray Essentials hoodie. He was black. He's standing out on the track right now.
He's standing on the track?
Yeah.
Okay.
His blue sweatpants on and gone.
Okay, what did he stab your friend with?
I don't know. My friend's bleeding everywhere.
Okay. Where was he stabbed at?
The chest.
Okay. And do you still see the person that stabbed him, or did he leave?
It was Austin. Austin got stabbed in the chest. I'm sorry, what did you say?
The person that stabbed him, is he still there? Do you still see him?
There's adults on him, I think. Yeah.
There's adults that are trying to keep him there?
Know who he is. Sorry, what?
The person that stabbed your friend, is he still there?
Yeah, he's still here.
Okay, and
He's with the coach.
There's a coach with him?
Yes, he's with. People got him.
Okay. Do you know if he still has the weapon on him?
No clue, but he's like he can't do nothing. He's done.
What do you mean?
He stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. What?
What do you mean he can't do anything? What's going on with him?
Coaches have him, he can't hurt anyone.
Okay, when you say they have him, are they physically holding him down?
No, they're just holding him walking around.
Okay.
Okay. He was under our team. Austin tried to make a move.
Okay. What's your name? What's your last name?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your last name? And do you see any of the responders there yet?
We hear the sirens, but
Okay.
the coaches sent us out. We're all walking to our buses.
Okay. So you're going to get on a bus right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the rest of the students are walking towards the buses?
Yeah, everyone's being evacuated out the stadium.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being quick.
Okay. Just follow whatever directions you're being provided by either the officers or by your coaches, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it. All kinds of help headed that way.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Every piece of that evidence was shown to the jury before they came back with their verdict. And now the public has it too. So here's my deduction. And I want you to really sit with this. Karmelo Anthony said two things to police. He said, "I did it." And he said, "He put his hands on me." The jury heard both. They chose to believe that the first statement was the truth, and that the second one, even if also true, did not legally justify what happened. A shove or a touch meets a knife. That's not equal force. That's the part that gets me every single time. Because here's what I keep coming back to. Why did a 17-year-old bring a multi-tool knife to a high school track meet? That question was never cleanly answered during the trial. His coaches testified that he was a leader, a captain, a well-liked kid. His friend testified that he had no reason to expect violence. So what was the knife for? If it was just habit or self-protection in general, was this track meet the first time he'd carried it? Or the first time it became relevant? And then there's this. Karmelo is now 19 years old. He is looking at a minimum of 20 years before parole becomes a realistic conversation. Austin Metcalf will never see 20. He died at 17 in his twin brother's arms at a high school event on a rainy Wednesday morning. 2 kids, 2 futures, both gone just in different ways. So I want to ask you something, and I genuinely want your answer in the comments. Does the body cam footage change how you see this case? Knowing he was crying, asking if Austin was okay, while also saying, "I did it." Does that affect how you think about intent? Because that tension right there, between remorse and admission, is the part of this story that nobody is talking about loudly enough. Thank you so much for watching. This case is far from over. The appeal is filed, more legal battles are ahead, and the Dark Passion Crime TV will be right here covering every update as it comes. If you are not already subscribed on YouTube, do it right now. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are the Dark Passion Crime TV on all 3. And leave me a comment. Does 35 years fit the crime, or does this case deserve a different outcome on appeal? I want to read every single one of your thoughts. Stay with us. There is always more to the story. The Dark Passion Crime TV.